Good morning, yogis. So some of you have been asking about pre and post workout routine. This is a pre-workout routine, which is a little bit more than just stretching. Particularly those of you who are runners. If you're going on a run, you actually want the muscles that would otherwise cheat. So especially your glute muscles and the lower belly, so that the muscles that usually don't want to work. Really get those working, because especially your glute muscle is going to protect your hip over time as you're running. So we're going to start today on the bag. I have a block and a blanket nearby. I recommend you grab those. And we'll start actually with a little hamstring exercise. So you can slide onto the bag and bring your feet onto the blanket. Children screaming outside. Okay, so the block is going between the thighs. So what is the block doing? It's helping us squeeze everything in. You'll notice already when you squeeze the block with your legs, there's a reciprocal action in the lower belly. So you can just squeeze the block a few times. And then find a medium squeeze. So not like you're crushing the block, but just like squeeze the block. And now lift the hips. And you can use your arms for support. We're going to slide the legs out. So you'll feel if the movement is too big, it's going to be too hard, and you'll be really jerky pulling the feet back in. So try to do 10. I think that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oh it's hard, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so even if you do 5, that's okay. So you'll feel, right, the hamstrings had to work pretty hard. You can pull the knees in and out from the chest a few times. And then we'll do a second set. If that was too hard, take the block away. So you can always do it without the block. So if you wanted a strong practice, grab the block again. If you thought, okay, that was too much, just leave your feet on the block. Use your arms. So your arms are also doing some work here. It's a lot of the core and the glute, but it's also the arms. So 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so that woke up our hamstrings in a hurry. I'm going to pedal the legs out, just step it out a bit. And then we'll find the side glute muscle. So that's also really important, especially for women, supporting the hip. So just roll over to the side. You can pad the knee with the blanket if you want. I think I'll just use the floor. So you'll start here with the knees stacked. Pay attention to the position of the hand. If you're really far, if it's far ahead of your shoulder, you're not going to be able to lift up. So when in doubt, pull it a little bit closer in. So you're going to come up, lift, and pull down. So that's lift, 4, 3. I think that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Hold. So now you're in a little side plank. To lower the leg. Not too big. If it's big, you won't feel the side hip muscle. We actually want a small, tight movement. 5, and you'll feel it right here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, drop it down. Swing the legs around to the other side. So hand under the shoulder, knees are maybe a little bit further ahead of the wrist. So pushing up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So now the leg is straight. Tiny pulses, so really small controlled movement. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring it in. Swing the legs again forward. Reach for the block. I'm going to use it actually at the lowest height, right? We don't want to be like mean to ourselves in the morning. So this doesn't need to be the hardest thing you've ever done. It's just a drill. Okay, so I have the block close to my foot. I'm just going to lift and lower over the block. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so you'll notice if your hip gets tired, you're leaning back a bit. Forgivable. So don't worry about that too much. Between sides, we'll just bring the belly to the thighs. And this is a light stretch for the hamstring, so you can just walk the hips back. Keep your belly all the way to the thighs. Take 5 deep breaths. And then over to the other side. You can also keep your hands on the floor. So if you felt like, okay, the lower back was caving a bit, keep your hands on the floor. By the way, you can make it harder for yourself. I'm not going there, but you can if you want. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. And then, so we actually started with some of the harder exercises first. That's the good news, is it's not getting worse from here. So I'm going to reach for the blanket just so I have something under the back knee. We'll come into your really basic standard lunge, right foot forward. So here, I like having the blanket so you can slide the knee in and just feel really the best position here. So tuck the toe, and before you try to straighten the leg, think more about getting the hip low. So getting the hip low and rolling the shoulders back. You could even bring your hand to your knee if you want, but really feel here, you're lengthening the front body. And then keep that feeling, right? Because that requires core strength as you lift the back leg. So it doesn't need to straighten all the way. It can be little taps 10 times. Actually, for me, warming up, the smaller the better. If we force the body into big movements right away, usually we lose the form that we want. So really just tiny movements to warm up the leg. And then just step forward. So between sides, we're opening the hamstring but not forcing them in any way. So I have quite a deep bend in the knees. I can just shake the body. If some of you, if the hips are really low, that's totally fine. And then other side. So the kind of warm-up we want to do is just really firing up the muscles that need to fire. Light stretches, but the deep stretches can be saved for after. So I would never take deep stretches before I go running. That's for after. So first find low hips. Pull the chest forward so you feel that the spine is as straight as possible. And then tuck the back toes, just 10 times, little tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And then actually we saved in some ways the gentlest for last. So you can do this with a tissue or a towel. Today I'm just going to unfold the blanket. So if you are a runner, you probably want to warm up the feet. Even if you're someone who's blessed with like these beautifully arched feet, it can be a really nice one to do. So you're just going to find a fabric that is not too thick. So that this thin blanket is totally fine. And you're going to bring your feet here and pull it with the toes. So I hope it's clear what I'm doing. I'm really pulling like this. So I'm like it's a hand. I'm going to do this about 10 times to wake up the arches of the feet. Because your feet are your foundation, and if the feet are not firing properly, they won't support the knees as you need to. So warming up the feet generally, and really, really squeeze. So really, really squeeze the toes in when you've got the blanket. Not too fast, and release. So pull in and out. Pull in, out, in, out, in, out. And then finally, just take one foot at a time. You can thread actually your fingers between the foot and really warm up the ankles. So we did all the joints of the lower body, front and back of the hip, front and back of the legs, and then the whole foot. I also like, I do this more after cardio, if I do it, but here, support the heel from underneath, and then stretch the top of the foot a little bit, so back and forth, and back and forth. And the flatter your feet are, the more you really need to warm them up before you go running to protect the joint. If you're like me, if you don't have much arch in the foot, you need to do everything you can to strengthen the feet. So other side, just thread the fingers between the toes, circle, circle, circle. And then flex the foot so you can press, and then pull. So you're stretching the top of the foot. So the reason I'm supporting the foot is so it doesn't do this, right? If you're a runner and you've ever stepped like this, you'll know it's really not good. So you're supporting the under, so it stays a little bit more like this when you stretch the foot. Okay, so then you can pull the feet in and just do a very short breathing exercise. I think running itself is a breathing exercise. So first take a deep breath in, exhale completely, and then inhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then open the eyes if they were closed. So it's really great if you took the time to go through that whole sequence before your workout. That's a lot of dedication, but it's really worth it, and hopefully you will feel that the difference in your run today in a good way. So thank you for your practice. Namaste.